and we are live in pre-show. And welcome
Yay.
everyone. You guys say hi to Miranda. She's going to be the star of the show today. Currently, we
Hi
have
guys.
we have about 24 folks watching on YouTube. I would invite those of you on YouTube that are watching just on YouTube to come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com because that way you can get in on the chat. And there are a bunch of rowdy folks in the chat. Well, they're not that rowdy. Let's see. There's Prashana. Prashana is actually watching us in Nepal. Miranda, did you know that Nepal
Oh,
has a time zone that is a half an hour different? It's not like, you're in Eastern time and I'm in
really?
Central time, and so it's like 2 o'clock here, 3 o'clock where you are. Well, where he is, it's like 2:30 in the morning. It's a, it's just a
Hmm.
weird time zone. I've never
That
known
is
that.
weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Dave
that.
O is here. Charles is here. Nick, Kiwi Chris, Kenny's here. Welcome, Kenny. Dan, Marie is here. If you're looking at the chat, the wife is always Marie. Let's see. Tommy's here from Alabama. Mike's here from Texas. Rick's here. Cliff's here. Edward, Rudy, Steve. Well, it looks like all the cool folks are here today. That's good.
Sounds
That's
like
good.
it.
If you're watching us on Facebook now, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com because you can get in on the chat. Nice stuff going on in the chat. All sorts of people saying hi to Miranda. And what else are they saying? I've got the chat on. Remember, be nice. That's the advice in chat. Be nice. Okay. All right. So, Miranda, what we're going to do is I'm going to put you in the green room for just a moment, and I'm going to mute your mic. And then I'm going to bring you,
Okay.
and I'll do my little opening and my little monologue kind of thing, which don't tell anybody. I just sort of make it up on the sly. I don't have it written down.
Secret's safe with me.
Okay, that's right. And so, uh-oh, Kiwi Click Chris says I have blush on. I tried to get the color right. Let me try it one more time and get the color in. What I found out is it does depend on what monitor you're looking at as to how that looks. Let's see if this does anything more. We'll see if that makes a difference. I've adjusted the lighting. I'm here and I'm in a new studio today. Same one I was in last week. It looks a little bit like this, although I've changed the lighting pretty dramatically since then. So still trying to get the lighting on. Marie says, always be yourself. Unless you can be a unicorn, then always be a unicorn. Okay, I don't get the
I
unicorn
agree.
thing. I would think being a unicorn would really be tough. I mean, getting in and out of doors, wearing hats, all that kind of stuff, it would be kind of tough. All right, well, let's give this a shot. And, all right, so I am going to mute Miranda. We got to remember to unmute Miranda. And then we'll go here. And we're going to get started, unless anybody has any questions. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you're just joining us and you're ready to watch the show, I'm glad you're here, but come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com. That way you can get in on the chat room. So if you're watching us on Facebook or on YouTube directly, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com. Right? It was there. Anyway. And that way you can get in on chat and see what these crazy folks are saying. And be nice, of course. All right, so let's see. Let's do a show. What do you say? Here we go. Well, hello, welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair, and this is Streaming Idiots. If you were expecting a real polished show from somewhere else, you have definitely come to the wrong place. We're doing the second show in our new studio. Still not through outfitting it yet. We've got some sound treatment yet to do. A lot of bare walls and tile floors here, so we're getting a lot of echo. We haven't moved our regular mic in. In fact, let me tell you a little bit about the setup today. Today for a microphone, I'm using my Audio-Technica ATR 2100. It's just right here in front of me on the desk. And it's a great little mic, and I really like it. It's a dynamic mic. And so it does cut out some of the noise here. And when I bring my AT 897, the Audio-Technica shotgun mic, the boom mic that I really like to use that hangs up here, we will definitely have to do some deadening. I was doing some testing here yesterday and the day before, and these big diesel trucks kept going by. So it's a little different here in this studio as compared to the last one. We're going to have to pay more attention to sound deadening than we had before. We've got our rack mount systems over here to the left. I won't tell you, yeah, they're covered up with a moving blanket temporarily to hopefully they don't overheat, to keep them from making too much noise. And we have a big, thick, about a 2-inch thick fiberglass board wrapped in acoustic cloth that is on the front to try to absorb some of that noise as well. The systems, I'm embarrassed to say, you know, for somebody that builds systems, you know, it's like the mechanic's car is always the one that doesn't run well, and what did they say? The cobbler's kids are the ones that run barefoot. The cobbler was an old shoemaker. And it's the PC builder that uses the old crappy PC stuff. Well, partially because I'm a cheapskate and I want you to have the best, and I'll take the less than the best. But also because it's a great challenge to make everything work on less than optimum equipment, because a lot of people are doing that. And if you can't afford to have me build a PC for you, ours start at about $3,000 with vMix included and capture devices as well. So it's not like going to Best Buy or building something yourself. But if you're stuck with grandma's old PC, you really can make that work. Today, you know, I'm building PCs for folks using the 8th generation Intel i7 processor. Well, the PCs I'm using have the 2nd generation i7 processor, you know, the 2600K, which was actually a super processor in its day. It was screaming fast, and still is, but screaming is different now than it was then. Right now, it's sort of squeaking by. So we've got 2 of those. One of them is doing the production today, one PC doing the production. The other PC is doing the recording and the streaming. We're streaming to Facebook and YouTube. And I don't remember if we're streaming to Twitter and Periscope or not today. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. I forgot to check before we got started. We're streaming in 1080p, 30 frames a second, and are using a vMix call in vMix. So Miranda, our special guest, will be up just a second, coming in in beautiful 1080p from Wisconsin, not Wisconsin, from Michigan. I almost blew that one. We're using our main cam today is actually a PTZ Optics 12X G2 Generation 2 cam coming in over SDI. We weren't doing NDI. We were doing some networking changes before the show and didn't get the NDI hooked up in time. But we're coming in over SDI. And then what else? Our Audio-Technica mic is connected to a Behringer UMC 404 HD audio interface. I like the audio interface because it brings in the separate channels, and vMix can pick up each microphone separately using the, because vMix recognizes ASIO drivers. Remember, Windows is limited to one single stereo input unless you have multiple sound cards. In this case, we're just bringing it in over USB, and we've got the ability to have four streams of audio. We're recording in 1080p. We're streaming to YouTube in 1080p, and we're streaming to Facebook in 720p. Our internet is courtesy, well, it's not courtesy because I'm paying it, but it's from AT&T. It's their UVerse, which is 100 down, 25 up, and so far seems to be pretty reliable. It popped out a little bit on Monday during a thunderstorm, but you know, that's okay. Let's see, what else can I tell you about the setup? Lighting is still underway. We're still working on that. As somebody that wears glasses, I'm trying to get lights and monitors in places that don't have a lot of reflection. So you can see reflection of the lightings depending on which way I raise my head, I turn my head. So we'll be working on placing everything. For a self-production like this, obviously I've got to be able to see the monitors. If you're having a show produced for you, obviously maybe you just need a confidence monitor across the room. We're going to try to do that. Shout out to Liam, who's making some witty observations in the chat. I'm really excited to have my guest on the show today. With me, well, let me just go ahead and bring her in. I always remember to bring her audio in with her. We've got Miranda from X Keys is with us. Miranda, welcome. Glad to have you on the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Whew, I thought for a second I'd
Happy to
forgotten
be
to
here.
turn your audio on. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm talking. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. That's great. Well, let's start out with the big news first, shall we? The biggest news of the whole day. You want to go ahead and pop that out there for everybody?
Oh, sure. Our big announcement. So we have actually decided to start doing our own live streaming show. We're going to debut it on this Friday at 11:05 Eastern Time on YouTube. So everyone should tune in.
Awesome. And Dan's going to put a link in the chat, and we'll make sure that we get a link so that we can put the link. Yep, there's the link right there in the chat. And we'll put the link in the YouTube recorded version and in the Facebook version of this show too, so people can see it. So that's going to be Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern Time on YouTube. That's going to be on the X Keys.
11:05.
Tell them 11 o'clock. That way they'll show up early. Because everybody's always late. I mean,
That's
you
true.
notice this show was supposed to start at 3 o'clock, right? That's because I want everybody to get here, and then we'll start, once all the cool kids get here, then we can start. Yeah, and you're here. So
Fair enough.
you live in, did I blow it? Are you in Wisconsin or Michigan?
No, Michigan. Definitely Michigan.
Okay. I don't know where I got Wisconsin. So you're in Michigan, but you represent X Keys like all over the world. I mean.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah. I mean.
I think,
so far
Go
this
ahead.
year, you've been to Las Vegas twice.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to London.
Correct.
And did you go to, was it Dubai that I saw you in?
No.
No, you didn't go to Dubai yet. Okay, all right.
No, that'd be cool, but no.
Well, that is so cool that
No.
you get to do all this cool traveling.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the trade shows, getting to see everyone and everyone's excitement about X Keys. It's a lot of fun.
So how long have you been with PI Engineering? And PI Engineering actually is the company behind the X Keys. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've been working here for 5 years.
Oh, wow. So you started
Yeah.
when you were like 18. Yeah.
A few years older, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So tell me about X Keys. Tell me about X Keys. I know you've got a new X Key key product that you want to talk about in just a second, but give us kind of peel off, the veneer of PI Engineering and tell us what it's like to work in a company like X Keys that's doing all sorts of cool stuff all the time. I mean, you guys are developing and innovating constantly. Must be amazing.
Right. It is awesome. We're always coming up with new stuff and seeing how our customers use it and learning new ways to use our X Keys, which is awesome. But in a nutshell, USB programmable keyboards, and you can use it in any application. So my favorite applications to use it in are Adobe products. Because
Really?
I do a lot of the graphics and, and our brochures and stuff like that. So I use it seamlessly with Adobe stuff all the time.
What's your favorite?
Photoshop.
I'm sorry, what's your favorite X Keys? Currently mine is the XK24.
Well, I thought you said using it in the product.
I do.
No, my favorite X Keys is, let's see here. 24 key, XK24, just because it is, it's easily, you can use it for anything. And at the same time, I've got 2 80 keys on my desk right now. So.
Oh my goodness. How many
And I
X
use
keys
every
total
single
do you have
button.
on your desk? You've got 2 80 keys. Do you have a 24 also?
1, 2. Yep, I have a 24 and I have a stick.
Oh my goodness.
So 4.
And do you use them all the time?
Yeah.
I mean, all of them get, yeah, all of them get, and 280s, and
Yep.
that's
Some of them are,
fully populated.
yeah, some of them are for specific applications, but I mean, I use them all.
All right, so if I'm using my X keys for an Adobe application, can I also use it
Hmm.
for vMix?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The PC would know the
It's all just
difference?
within. Yeah, you can program it in application specific. So like, I have it programmed in an Adobe product, but then I also have it programmed just so if I'm in Outlook, it goes to that. So if I had vMix running, I could just have it programmed just for vMix on one layer, and then Photoshop or whatever on another layer.
Oh, how cool. How do you switch layers?
Yep. It knows it by how you are in the different application. Whatever application is in front,
I got it.
X keys knows
It
it.
senses it all by
Yeah.
itself. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like it. I like it. Now, oh man, I should have brought it with me. You guys sent me a little guy that y'all made that was a little like Lego guy. I guess you
Yup.
guys are making all sorts of prototypes of stuff all the time.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of fun with the Legos. At NAB and Infocom, we had our Lego Studio, which
Right.
then we have vMix in our T-bar, actually. Right there. We got our T-bar up here.
Awesome.
You see it? Yeah. And that was running a live stream to our Lego Studio. But yeah, and then we do all of the custom keys and everything. Lots of new things.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. See, this is just the problem with this show is we're just going to like scratch the surface of all the questions that I have about X keys and everybody else has. So, how often do you change key tabs? I mean, the key caps pop off on an X key. I mean, I can take
Yep.
off this key right here and pop it off, and put a different label on. I bet you change one every
Absolutely.
day.
I don't personally, just because I've got so many on there that I've already customized a lot to what I want, but I know people that change them all the time.
If you had to
Just-
do Adobe stuff without an X key, would it take you a lot longer?
Oh, significantly longer. Significantly. So
Really?
I have all of my shortcuts set up with one button, actions and everything, and all of that is on multiple key presses with, 10 fingers. I only have 10, so I can do, I can't do that many in one.
Unlike Dan, that's got 20 fingers. I get it. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Cool. Very cool. All right.
So
So,
XC's definitely speed.
yeah, we've got a little bit of
Okay.
latency here in the call, so we end up talking over each other. So just ignore me and just keep talking. Don't pay any attention at all.
Okay.
So you guys are coming out with you just came out with one, what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, that's dedicated for
Oh.
Wirecast users, I understand.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Where y'all had that at Infocom, I think was the first time you really had people could play with it. That's good. And we're going to make that available in
yeah.
our store at Eastern Shore Broadcasting. Tell us a little bit about that unit.
Yeah, so that's our Wirecast control surface by X Keys, and it comes already fully laid out with custom keys, custom printed keys. So then the cool thing with Wirecast is that you can plug it into their software or into the computer and have their software running, and it's ready to go. Like it already
Wow.
recognizes it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that'll be Mac or PC.
And-
It'll work for both of them.
Yep, Mac or PC.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, it's
That's-
awesome.
I see Dan put a link in the chat to the Wirecast X key version. Thank you, Dan. That's good. So that's good. That's good. We won't talk about Wirecast anymore because we're a vMix shop. We like vMix. It's kind of our
I
bread
love
and butter.
vMix too.
Oh, there she goes. Good job. Good job. But you guys have got a new X key product that you've just brought out. That's not
Yep.
10, not 20, not 30. Tell me about this. How many buttons are on this rascal?
Well, this guy is 40 keys, so it's going to be our new XKE 40.
Ah.
It's not quite out yet, but our projected release date is the end of the year. It's awesome because you can have it just standard where it can just sit on a desk, can go above or below your keyboard if you want, or it does come with some ears so you can rack mount it.
Oh, wow.
And then another cool thing about it, I don't know if you can see right here, it supports all of our bigger keys, so our wides, our talls, our quads, and even our blockers.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So that's going to come out at the end of the year. It's a 40 key.
Correct.
It will be rack mountable, or it can sit above your keyboard, or you could mount it in the bathroom if you wanted to. You could program it to.
If you
never
want.
mind. What's the retail price on it? I got to make a note here.
It's gonna be around 200. That's what we're hoping for.
Around 200. Okay. Okay. Very good. That's a good value. I can see people loving that, especially on a rack mount system, to have 40 dedicated vMix shortcut buttons right there.
Right.
Awesome. Oh yeah, I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. All right, so people in the chat room are asking for dirt on Dan Snyder. We'll do that in post-show, so nobody should get this. And if I said Snyder, I meant Slider. Sorry about that. I've got a brain freeze going on here today. So, so the X Key 40 coming out at the end of the year. We've got the Wirecast that you've just rolled out. Is there anything else lurking around in the background? Maybe an X Key with a joystick that has some mods to it?
Well, in the works, there is the combo unit, our replay unit, with the T-bar and the jog and shuttle.
Oh, really?
But
Oh,
that's
wow.
in the works. We're getting this guy out first, so.
Right. All right. So in the works has a specific meaning to you. In the works means what? 18 months?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's cool. So you guys have got to finish. What you've got in front of you is the XKE 40. What's the E stand for?
XKE 40. Extruded case.
Got it. Okay, and so now you've got to get that rascal into production. And where are these guys made?
Combination of U.S. and Taiwan.
Okay. All right. That's cool. I like Taiwan a lot. Yeah.
Yep.
Good folks over there. Never been there. Have you been to Taiwan?
I have not.
Not yet.
It would be cool to visit, but no.
I have to go over and see the X Keys factories over there. Yeah, they have just mile after mile of Taiwan real estate is eaten up with PI engineering factories to make all the X Keys that they sell all over the year. So let's go back to your show for a minute. What kinds of things are you going to do on your show? Coming up this Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern time, by the way, on YouTube.
Yep. So we're going to do some demos and tutorials and showcasing all of our different X keys and different things that you can do with them. And then we'll have a question and answer after the show.
So will there be like an Adobe day and then a vMix day and then a Wirecast day, or will each show kind of have a little bit of everything? Or do you know?
We're gonna have, I say yes, we're gonna have a vMix day, Wirecast day, Adobe day. I mean, there's so many things that might as well just dedicate a day to it.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Or a show to it.
Oh, yeah. So this Friday show, it'll be just sort of a general introduction show. You're not going to just jump right out and do a vMix day right away, are you?
Probably not. I won't be the first one, but we will be running vMix using vMix Pro, a PTZ optics camera, and obviously our USB T-bar,
Yeah.
our 124 T-bar.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Dan sent me one of those one time. He said, "Tom, I want you to play around with this." And I played around with it, and I showed it off on my show. And within 24 hours, I'd sold it. I mean, somebody just said, "Tom, I
believe
want
it.
that. Send it to me now." And so I had to call Dan. I said, "Dan, I'm not sending you back your T-bar." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's not yours anymore. You need to send me an invoice. I sold it." Oh, that was hilarious.
That's awesome.
That was so much fun. So much fun. Well, I was thinking about doing a special on X keys today, but I played around with the lighting too much. Obviously, I don't know if I'm purple or green or orange right now, but so I didn't have a chance to do that. But I want to work up a bundle. Do you guys have map pricing? Am I allowed to advertise a price that's lower than the published price?
Yes, I believe so.
Maybe. Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Well, we'll double check. We'll double check.
Yeah,
But I was thinking
we'll
about
check into that.
I was thinking about taking an X keys, maybe a 24, and bundling it with a vMix, and making them a bundle for somebody just starting out. You know, they could get an X keys 24 and a vMix HD and get a deal on it. You know, one of those things
Yeah.
that's just too good to be true.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that
okay.
sounds like a good deal.
So, are you going to have guests on your show? I might
Maybe.
know
I
some
don't know.
people that would be good on a show like
Yeah, maybe.
that. Actually, you've got a whole house full of folks there, of folks like Dan and Maggie that would do great on the show. So you'll have to go through
absolutely.
the in-house folks before you get to the outhouse folks, the guests.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. What else can we talk? What else do people need to know about X keys? Can I use an extension cord with an X key?
Yep. So we actually have some USB extenders on our website.
Okay. So what's the
Yep,
longest
but
I can go?
You can
100 yards?
as long as the cord you can get.
Really? Wow. Okay. All right. That's cool. What's the craziest use
Yeah.
you've ever heard of somebody coming up with of an X key? Because you probably get
Craziest.
stories all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. I wasn't prepared for the craziest story or the craziest one.
Okay. Which one were you
I don't
prepared
know.
for?
I know, right?
Who do you know that has the most
I don't
X
know,
keys
just most X keys.
besides you and Dan?
Well, can I say Dan?
I bet.
Well, I'd say Tim over at vMix probably's got a decent amount
Uh-huh.
at this point.
Got it. I bet he does. Yeah.
Trying to think. I don't know. I don't know who has the most. I've seen pictures in our user X Keys user group of people that have like 4 or 5 X Keys in one setup,
Oh, wow.
which is crazy but awesome.
So where is your X Keys user group? If somebody was interested in
Facebook.
that on Facebook, could they just
Yeah.
like send you a note and you would add them to the group?
So you have to ask to join and then answer a few questions, but then you get in.
Answer a few questions, like what's your favorite X key? Who's your favorite PI
Pretty much.
engineering person? Yeah, always vote for
Me's
Miranda.
the right answer.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Got it. Yep. So that's Facebook X Key user group, and if somebody wanted to engage with other users, they could go there and join that. If they had questions about X Keys, they could go there and do that. If they had a question they didn't want to be
Absolutely.
answered publicly like that, how would they get support? I mean, obviously, when our company, Eastern Shore Broadcasting, sells X Keys to somebody, either just the X Key or the X Key with one of our custom PC systems, They can call us for any kind of support. But if somebody just buys it, you know, on the black market, you know, from somebody selling one on the street corner or something like that, how would they get an answer to a question? By email? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
you can call us directly, or you can email us at tech@xkeys.com. We have a great
tech@xkeys.com.
Yeah, we have great tech support. We get back to you really quickly. Yeah, and that's the most direct way to get help.
Okay. All right. Or you can even call.
And always,
You can call
yeah.
them. Wow. I love it. I love it. Somebody with that phone number that's willing to take a call. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, we'll answer.
All right. Well, we are about out of time. Can you hang out with us for a few minutes in post-show and answer some questions? Anybody has questions for Miranda, now's the time to put them in the chat. And if you've been watching us on Facebook or YouTube directly, and you want to ask a question, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com, just add a .com down there, and you can get it on the chat so you can ask questions of that. Well, Miranda, you're a real sport for coming on this show and letting me poke fun at you and all your coworkers there. But I sure did
Oh, it was
enjoy
fun.
hanging out with you and Dan and Maggie and the crew at NAB this past spring. That was a lot of fun. Highlight of
Yeah.
my week was going out to dinner with you guys and watching. Never mind, we won't tell any of those stories here.
I say, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, very good. Okay, well, thank you, Miranda, and hang out. Don't go anywhere. We'll bring Miranda back in just a second. And let's see. We're gonna close up the show here and go to post show. But thank you for tuning in. And just as a reminder, this show is just a giant. It's a giant infomercial. Where is my infomercial? Yeah, here's my infomercial. It's just a giant infomercial. For all the products that we represent. We design and build custom PCs for folks that are doing streaming for churches and sports and talk shows and events. We represent PTZ Optics. Of course, we represent X-Keys, yes. We represent Magewell. We've taken on Uon, the Capture Card folks, and we have taken on Bird Dog TV as well. And we'll have the Bird Dog folks on next week to talk about Bird Dog, the crazy things going on with Bird Dog and NDI. So, and oh yeah, the other thing, I guess we also represent vMix. Yeah, we know a little bit about vMix. So if you have questions about vMix, you know, we can help you with your questions. If you need to buy vMix and then have somebody teach you how to use it, we do that too. So we're happy to help however we can. We just want live streaming to get bigger and better all across the world. That's the goal. So there you go. So come back and see us next week when we have, I'm not sure if we have a Dan and Eamon both from Bird Dog TV on, or just Eamon or just Dan. But nevertheless, we'll have one of that crazy crew on with us next week to talk about what's going on with Bird Dog TV. And they've got a great new product out and some big changes to some of their to their existing Bird Dog TV device, the Studio. So don't miss us next week. I'm Tom Sinclair on behalf of all of the streaming idiots all over the world. We thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Not a bad show. And we are out. We are out. And let's bring Miranda back. There she is. And let's see if we have questions in the chat. Jim Moline just jumps right out there and he says he's got both a 24 and an 80 for different applications. He says great products. Well, that was not a question, but that's a nice testimonial right there. And Giles.
I love hearing good reviews.
Giles at Step Back in Time says, great job, Miranda. John L. or Jan, as other people call him, says, thank you for joining us, Miranda. Thank you for tolerating this bunch of monkeys. Let's see, what else? Rudy wants to know if you're coming to IBC in Amsterdam in September. Your
I'm
birthday
not,
month.
but we will. It is my birthday month. I won't be there, but X Keys will be.
Okay. So how will X Keys, is somebody going over there, or do you have European representation?
Yeah. We'll both be over there. Yeah.
Okay.
So our our UK distributor and us and Dan's going over. Michael's going over. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Should be good.
So do you speak any foreign languages?
A little Spanish, but not really.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, I just spent 2.5 weeks in Thailand, and I came back speaking like I could say thank you in Thai. That was about it. It was all Greek to me. No, it wasn't even Greek. It was a different language. All right, let's see. Giles says X keys are perfect for use with vMix, robust, easy to label, great stuff. Well, there you go. Giles says, do you speak American?
A little.
I think that's a trick question. Yeah, yeah. All right. Let's see, what else? Is that all the questions we've got for Miranda? We got to be careful. Now, you got to be careful with people like Tommy, because Tommy will want to know if you play volleyball, and that there's no question, no telling where that conversation will go. Tommy, she's a professional woman, and she has her own internet show starting Friday at 11:05 on YouTube. That is going to be so much fun. You're going to have you're going to have
fun. I'm
the
excited.
first 5 shows will be just absolutely a mess. You'll
I'm
forget
sure.
stuff, and you'll mean to do it, but you get the camera on in front of you, and then it's like, oh my gosh, my brain goes to mush. Well, yours probably won't. You'll probably be great. But Giles wants to know, what time is 11:05 in the UK? Well, Giles, that's easy.
Great question.
It's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Actually, Eastern Daylight Time. So that would be, I think it's either a 5 or a 6 hour difference for you. Oh, Kenny wants to know, what's your regular job at PI Engineering? That's easy.
So I'm the graphic designer and website specialist and part of marketing. So yeah, we wear many hats here.
Dan told me, I guess he told me maybe a year ago, that they were grooming you to take over for him.
That's what I hear.
Because they were sending him out to pasture, but don't tell him that. No, they're promoting him to be in charge of the Thailand division. That's what it is. Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
Rudy says it's 16:05 in the UK. 16:05, really? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. So that's going to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 4:05. And that would be 8 o'clock in California. When you guys picked out the 11 o'clock start time, why 11 o'clock?
Well, it's an hour before lunch, so might as well.
And then take the rest of the day off. I get it. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So it wasn't a big demographic study, or trying to see what other shows might be on and squeeze in between them or before them. You just said, hey, this is a good time for us, and that's when we're going to do it.
We were trying, but we also kind of just nailed it down to a good time for us.
Uh-huh.
Figured we kind of had to.
Right. Well, and that gives you all week to prepare. Having a Monday show is hard because, golly, if you haven't done your prep, you're scrambling on Monday to get a Monday show on the air. I think a Friday show is a great idea. Plus, it gives people an opportunity to see something, and then maybe do some research on it over the weekend.
Right.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
That's cool. So on the show, you're I guess you're not gonna you can't just talk about vMix all the time, can you? Dang.
Well, seeing as X keys are our products, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I meant in the
I know.
X keys with vMix. Yeah. 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 But you do use vMix. At least that's good. That's good. I love the
Oh,
backdrop behind you.
absolutely.
Are you on a green screen right now?
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's,
thanks.
that
I
looks
did
really
that.
good. You did that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love it. That is so cool. Now, are you going to make something like that, an actual physical banner for your trade shows that looks like that?
I don't know.
I mean, try to tie
Simple
the
answer, I
trade
don't know.
shows into try the theme for the trade show into the show and the show into the trade show.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea.
Dan says that this show is my fault. Dan, I've already started another show that was my fault. The World of Live streaming show is my fault. So I guess it's sort of a negative inspiration. You blame it on me instead of, yeah. So, all right, so the show that you're going to do on Friday, let's talk about that some more because I'm really curious. Is that going to be a self-produced show? Are you going to produce it and star in it at the same time?
I believe it's going to be Dan and I.
Okay. Oh, it's going to be the two of you. Okay. So you
Yeah.
guys will be
Yeah.
side by side, kind of bounce off each other, kind
Yeah.
of the old synergy thing.
And tackle
Got it.
this one together.
Yeah, yeah. I'll say that the X teams, the X Keys team has great synergy. You guys get along so well together, at least on the surface. It may be different under the scenes, behind the scenes,
Oh no,
behind the curtain. But y'all
we
seem
have a
to
great
just really
team
like
here.
each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. We have a really good team here. We all work really well together.
So, all right, last question, and I probably should have asked you this earlier. How in the world did you come to work for X Keys? I mean, I had never even heard of X Keys until I bought one.
Honestly, me either. It was about a year after I graduated from college. I was looking to get out of the job that I was in, and I was just looking on ads and everything, and I saw this one, and I was like, oh, that sounds fun, and went and interviewed and loved the company and apparently did well with the interview.
Apparently,
As
yeah.
then I got hired. Right.
And they were looking for a graphic designer?
Yep.
And so you just came in and took over and said, no,
yeah, essentially.
it's not just
No.
enough for me to design the graphics. I want my own show. I want my own show.
I was very demanding.
I don't think that would be the case. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Dan says in the chat, in the chat room, he says he'll take credit for hiring you.
Oh yes.
How about that?
Good.
He's a good recognizer of talent. Yeah, indeed.
No. He's
So,
been a good mentor.
I bet. I bet he would be amazing to work for. Well, and you can tell that he likes young people. He likes to work with young people. I mean, isn't he a tennis coach? And at the college level or the high school level?
High school level.
High school level. Okay, so he's developing people and helping them get ready for the next step, whether it's a college team or whether it's just life, because we all know that sports really do prepare you for life. Did you play sports?
Yeah. So, softball.
Aha. What position?
Yep. Shortstop.
Shortstop. Oh my goodness. So you must have a cannon for an arm.
No, not really. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay, you threw your arm out. Gotcha.
Exactly. We'll
Yeah.
go with that.
Yeah, my Florida State University Seminole girls won the national championship a couple of weeks ago in softball.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they did great. It's a very fast game. Holy cow! It's not like watching
It's
men's
fun.
baseball. I think women's softball has got
No.
so much more action. Yeah.
No, it's fun to watch.
I saw somebody do a double play where the catcher laid out to catch a bunt that was popped up just a little bit, and she laid out, caught it, got up on her knees and then fired it to first to get the runner who was heading to second before they could come back.
Wow.
It was
That's
good.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, I'm looking on the list. Jim asked how many on your staff. Dan says about 20. Giles says that Dan's team won tennis this year. That's great. Dan says that you're really fast.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am.
Do you run too? Now that you're not playing?
No, but I do play on an adult soccer league, actually with people from PI, and
Ah.
yeah, I'm fairly fast.
Soccer is my favorite sport. I never played it, but all my boys played it. And it was soccer that got me into live streaming.
Wow.
I was taking pictures. Actually, I was coaching all my boys in soccer, even though I never played it. I studied it. I went to coaching school for it and was coaching my boys. And then when they got up to high school, they wouldn't let me coach anymore. Can you believe that? And but I just desperately wanted to be down on the field. And I found out that if you have a camera with a big old lens on it, you can go anywhere. Nobody asks you any questions. You just act like you're supposed to be there. So I took my camera down there and started taking pictures of the boys playing, and actually girls too, and would make copies. This was way back in the film days. And I'd make copies of the pictures and hand them out to all the guys and gals so they had them. And then I started carrying a little video camera around and catching some video. And then I said, this is good stuff. I'm going to start a website. So I started a website for the school soccer team. And we put all the scores there and wrote up game reports and had pictures and videos of the games. It was really, really cool. This is like 2007. And then I remember that fateful day, somebody said, well, Tom, you know a lot about this stuff. Can you do live video, like on a website, so we can watch? Because they were doing a big soccer tournament down here on the Gulf of Mexico in Orange Beach, Alabama, and they wanted the teams were coming from all over the Southeast, and they wanted the folks that couldn't come to be able to watch. And so we did our first live stream. That was like 2008. And we did it with a little laptop and a Wi-Fi, and broke all the rules. We used a camcorder. I mean, not a camcorder, a webcam, and used the mic for the webcam as our mic. Our graphics, where we would take a clipboard and we would write the score in front of it, hold it in front of the camera to say what the score was. I mean, it was just absolutely primitive. But we had thousands of viewers over the course of the weekend and got lots of emails, lots of response. This is 2008 now. And I said, I don't know what this is, but whatever it is, it is. It's a thing. Whatever the thing is, this thing is going to go. And that's where we went. I've been doing it ever since. It's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I never knew how you got into it.
Not because I'm an expert at anything. That's for sure.
Wow.
Just because I like it. I have a passion for it. And I'm so excited for you and your new show coming up Friday at 11:05 Eastern Time, which is 4:05 in the UK, 8:05 a.m. in California. And I can't do any other combinations than that. Yeah. All right.
Don't ask me.
Let's see. They're talking about Dan and you and me in the chat. Coming up this summer in August is the Stream Fest, which is a 14-hour, 12-hour, 24-hour straight stream, starting on one side of the world and wrapping all the way around to the other side of the world. Dan's going to be on it, which means you might be on it too. And I know I'm going to be on it. They've got me up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do a report on this show. So it better be good. Better be good. Yeah.
It better be.
Indeed. Yeah. All right. Well, if no more questions for Miranda, we are going to close out this segment. This is your last chance. Let's see. Dave's there. Dan's there. Jim. Kirk. Welcome, Kirk. Didn't see you. Mike Benke's there. Guest 90. Marie, Charles, Rudy, Giles, Ken, Steve, Tommy, Nick, Otis, hey Otis, Scott, Liam, Martin S., Jerome, Mike, Hassan, Jan, and Kenny. Cool. All right, I knew it was going to happen. You're now getting advice for your show from Ken Benedict
Okay,
in chat.
let's hear it.
And Ken has good advice sometimes. And this is probably good advice. It says you could use a hair light to separate
Okay.
you from your background. And a hair light would be a light that would be positioned
Yeah.
behind you and shooting down. I don't have a
Makes
hair
sense.
light right now, but normally I do. I just haven't set it up yet. And that'll help separate you
Okay.
from your background a little bit. And you also could do with this is Tom saying this now, this is not Ken saying this. You could do with a little bit more light on your right side, because that your right
Okay.
side of your face is more shadowed than the left. And when they
Okay.
do like TV interviews, they'll talk about, doing a three-way lighting with a key light and a fill light and a hair light. And that's great because that adds a dramatic effect. But for shows like what we're doing, we're more like news shows. So we're well lit all the way around. The idea is not to have any shadows that produce anything weird. Dan or somebody has
Right.
just come into the room and is doing some crazy things behind you.
Yep,
behind
it's
me.
Dan.
isn't it? Yeah, it's Dan. Okay. So yeah, that's good. All right.
Oh, that's all
lighting is
really good
hard.
advice.
Tommy says that Dan could just hold a flashlight.
He said, just hold a flashlight for me.
Otis says I have a hair light from the sides, and I think that's actually natural coloration, I'm afraid. That's the way it really
There you
is.
go.
It's not a light. Not a light. Mike says you look great just the way you are. So there you go.
Thanks, Mike.
There's always one suck up in the crowd. All right. Well, my dear, you've been so great to come on the show and kind of cut your teeth and get yourself ready for Friday. We're all going to be watching on Friday and cheering. Are you going to have a chat? I guess
hope
you'll
so.
have the YouTube chat so we can ask you lots
Yeah,
of questions
yep.
on YouTube. And
Yep, we'll have a chat and then question and answer afterwards.
okay. And I hope you guys will post a announcement in the Streaming Idiots Facebook group of the show
Oh,
for
yeah.
Friday. And you're just going to do YouTube.
For this, at least the first show, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Your
If
X-Keys.
it changes, we'll let you know.
Your X-Keys user group. That's a group, not a page on Facebook, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Because you know about this cross-posting thing on pages. Doesn't work for groups yet.
Mhm.
Yeah, where you can send
Right.
Facebook one stream and Facebook will restream it to a bunch of different pages for you. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That is
All right,
awesome.
Friday the 15th, this Friday.
Yep.
Miranda and Dan. Got it. Cool. Well,
It'll be
thank you,
good.
my dear.
I'm excited.
Break a leg.
No, thank you for, thanks
We'll
for
be cheering
having
for
me.
you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Got it. We will see you later. All right?
All right.
All right.
Bye.
All right. I tell you what, you guys have seen it here first. That's a star in the making right there, folks. You will be able to say, I remember seeing her before she was a star. Yeah. That's it. Okay, so Tommy says he'll be there watching. Mike says he'll be watching. This Friday the 15th at 11:05 a.m. on YouTube, and you can find out more about it. If you go to the Streaming Idiots group on Facebook, we'll have a post there with a link to where it is, and you can probably just do a search on YouTube. And Rich shows up on time as usual. Rich, you missed out, dude. We had Miranda from X-Keys on here, and she told us, among other things, about this cool show that she's starting at X-Keys on Fridays. So you'll have to go back and watch the rest of the show. So, anybody want to hang around for a minute? I need some help getting my color right, because apparently I'm a little pinker than I thought I was. I guess it just depends on what your monitor looks like. So if you want to give me some advice on that, now is the time to do it, because I'm going to go into the settings in color correction, and I'm going to reset everything. Reset hue, saturation, lift, gamma, gain. And we're going to do a basic, we're in vMix 21, we're going to do basic autocorrect once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8, 9. It keeps changing. Yeah, basic autocorrect is kind of interesting. I don't know if it's an off-on. If I wait long enough and do another basic autocorrect. Nope. So how is that? You need to do it manually, Tom, says Giles. Mike says, is there enough light on the set? Mike, I don't know. That's a good question. How much is enough? Rich thought it was the Trump look-alike. Well, I was kind of going for a Trump look. I was having trouble with the hair, though. Okay. All right, so hold up a white card, says Ken. I don't have a white card, but how about a piece of notebook paper? Yep, so we're holding up a white card. Oh, and I should do the basic autocorrect with the white card. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Does that look more natural? You guys are not supposed to make fun of me here. Your purpose is to help me out. And laughing is not helpful. Make sure the white fills the screen when you white balance. So you're talking about doing something like that? Where is it? I'd have to get a white card. How about a white? Yeah, I don't have a white card. Is your camera set for AWB? Yes, Mike, it is. Make sure the white fills the screen when you do the white balance. Anderson says set it to default and do a color correction with the camera. Anderson says now just up the saturation. Mike says it seems to be shifting. That could be because the white balance is set to auto, but the lighting in here is not changing. Chris says it looks way better now. Dave O says keep the white card in the light, then zoom into the card. Giles says you need to lock white balance, exposure gain, etc. et al. On your camera so it doesn't change. Well, yeah, we could do all that. So if I had a card, this is what it would look like. Can we zoom in that close? Yep. All right. Now we'll go into the menu. We'll go to the color. We'll go to the white balance mode, which is set for auto. That's indoor. That's outdoor. That's one push. That's manual. That's VAR, which is various. Color temperature set for 2700 degrees. And back to auto. So if we go to manual, that's manual. If we go back to auto. And we can set the auto white sensors high, middle, or low. That doesn't look very good. Yeah, we probably need to go back into vMix and undo everything. Undo, 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 undo. All right. Go one push and then push it. Okay, let's see what that means, John. So we'll go back to the white card or the notebook paper, and we'll zoom in. And we'll go to menu, color, indoor, outdoor, one push. It says calculating, please wait. So that's one push of white balance. So, well, that's a scary picture. Let's get out of that menu. All right. And that's one push. And I'm going to give this a chance to catch up with you guys. Mike says looks better. Texas Mike says it looks better. Giles says, I think outdoor on the camera is good. Tommy Anderson says leave it on manual and lower the saturation. Jan says, actually, I actually think that looks good, although you might want to add a bit of saturation. Really? This looks good? It must be my monitor, because it does not look good here. Well, different monitor looks better. I need to balance these monitors. What color is my shirt in the studio? Jet black. Good question, Kenny. Yep. Otis says it's better. Mike says the whole image is a little dark. That's my impression too, Mike. Etronic says, looks to me like you're sitting in a shadow. Yes. Mike says, I feel like your graphic for the two-shot was dark. It was. I darkened it up intentionally. Jan says, one push seems to be the way to go. Yael says, your shirt looks gray here, so does your remote. Yeah, they are. The shirt is actually, it's as black as it gets. Jim says it looks dark brown. Yeah, that's what I was trying to fix. Kenny says it looks dark green. He says, you look gray to me, the whole image. Rich says the whole image is dark. Anderson says that's better, but you need to brighten. Well, let's try some brightening. Not that way. Could go that way. And then more like that. Use the Y monitor. Waveform Y. All right, black levels may be high, says Dave. Getting better and better, says Jan. Kenny says that's looking better. Mike says better. Giles says the leftmost cocoa color wheel is your friend. Kenny says shirt is darker and more color in face. Jan says I really like what you have now. Jim says stop, you got it. I like that, Jim. That's good. Jerome says that looks better. Thank you, Jerome. Tommy says put a yellow shirt on. Yes, so let's see what that looks like. It doesn't look anything like me. I am not that old. There needs to be an adjustment for age. Okay, well, let's, the problem is, you know, we can save these settings, but they're only as good as the operator. I'm not convinced that I have the lights the way I want them. That's part of the problem. You can see a little bit of yeah, in fact, you see the shadow now. So there's a little bit of glare here, and then a little bit of glare here. And that's because of the lights that I've got right on either side of me. Let's go, let me zoom all the way out so you can see. Yep. And so this light and this light are the ones that are reflecting on me. Rich says, actually, the whole shot looks washed out. Thanks, Rich. In settings, go to the last item, open, and then adjust the color from that little window that pops up. It's the proc amp. Settings. Last thing in settings is about. Zooming out really screwed up your color. Yeah. Maybe you can turn down exposure a notch to get rid of that side glare. I'd like to move the lights. Looks like a giant old TV back there now. I like that. It looks good here. Thank you, Anderson. You need to set your camera to a fixed color temperature. Yeah, I did. I started with that the other day to set it to the same color temperature as the lights. Which I think are 2700K, which is a little low. All right, Mike, we'll see you, man. Anderson said it could be the lighting. Anderson, I'm convinced it's the lighting. But it doesn't look bad. It's a little grayish, greenish up in here, and not as much black as I would like, but I think blacks are hard to do. Otis says you need a third set of light out front. Well, I do actually have two lights here and here. Try not to have anything directly in front of me because of the spectacles, but if you see that way, you see that kind of round thing. That's one light, and then over there is another round thing, is another light. Do you have a graphic or video you can compare facing a video graphic real quick? I can look. Last week's show was not particularly, I mean, was the same, almost the same lighting here. Anderson says, I like this zoom. You look like you're on a ship near a porthole. Yeah. Run your intro again. How far away is your key light? 6 feet. Jan said, if you started your stream now, I would not think about your lights and colors as they are now. I like it. Thank you. Anderson says, the cog on the camera input. Ah, okay. Cog on the camera input. Advanced properties, yeah. The PTZ optics doesn't do anything with that. So no help there. Giles says, if you want to have a session on Coco, that must be color correction. Please give me a shout. I think you have everything you need to get a great looking image. Thank you, Giles, except for the face. Steve says, it looks really great on my 65-inch. The one push white balance really helped here. Steve, my man, thank you. Jim says, first thing to do, actually, to put color bars up to adjust the monitor before adjusting the camera if you're relying on your eyes. That's a great idea, Jim. Great idea. Lots of good ideas from you guys. I really appreciate that. Okay, so let's save this preset. And of course, you know, when you start messing around with the lighting, it messes around with all the corrections that we've done. Yep. Yep. One of these days I'm going to get it right. I'm going to learn enough about it to do a tutorial on it. Right now, all I can do is say, this is what not to do. Yep. So whatever you do, this is rule number 11. Make sure you change your lighting right before a show. Yep. Kenny says, just set a new streaming trend and do it all in monochrome. Now, black and white is pretty striking. Pretty striking. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out for a few minutes to help me. And I've got 3 different monitors here, and I am a different color on each monitor. Isn't that a trip? Those 2 monitors are most the same, where I'm a little pinker on that one. Sorry, that one. I think that's the best representation, and then this one right here is really gray, gray-green. All the monitors are different brands. Yep. So, and they've never been color corrected. So there you go. Y'all are cool and kind to hang out. Obviously, you have no life. You have nothing else you can do. So, Jan says, I find I rarely get a good image when adjusting for temperature on the lights because there is also light from monitors, etc. Well, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. Giles says, I have to say it looks pretty good right now. Could be tweaked a bit. I like that idea. Kenny. Etronic says, collectively, we might be able to get this production live before midnight. Giles says, Color Monkey, Tom. Yeah, I think I've got one. I bought something a while back. I'll have to check and see what it was. Jan says, I get the best results with one push. Yes. Not, as long as you're not pushing Marie, you'll be all right. Davo says, if you have a color chip chart, then set your camera to use the scopes in vMix. Good. Thank you, Dave. Bye, Jim. We'll see you. Yeah, I've got to wrap up here too. Guys, I appreciate everybody hanging out here with me for a few minutes and helping me out. And I will catch you guys Friday on the X Keys show at 11:05 Eastern on YouTube. And then we'll see you next week. So y'all take care. We'll let the stream run out a little bit so it doesn't cut you off.